And then one last thing before I talk to what we were watching is that Jon Watts, the director of the Spider-Man MCU trilogy, was supposed to direct Fantastic Four, but he left the Fantastic Four. And then people were pretty bummed about that because he did a very good job with the Spider-Man movies, especially No Way Home. Like the buzz after No Way Home is massive, obviously. And people were excited to see him bring the Fantastic Four into the MCU because, the first four tries haven't been the best. So people were like, this guy, I mean, we trust him. I mean, people trust Marvel anyway, for the most part.
Yeah.
But like, oh, having him as a director, wow, that sounds pretty reassuring. But there has been talk now that Jon Watts is going to return back to Spider-Man for Spider-Man 4 and probably the next trilogy of MCU Spider-Man stuff, which I'm fine with. Like, I was like, oh, kind of cool. We get to see like a new person behind the scenes for these movies for the next phase of Tom Holland, but what better than the guy who built it? That makes sense. And that's not confirmed, but it seems like a lot of people are reporting it, not the big guys yet, but I think it might just been information that got out that Marvel Studios doesn't want to fully confirm yet. Because usually when this stuff kind of comes out, like I've seen it coming out, it ends up being true.
Yeah.
And then another thing came out that John Krasinski might be directing the Fantastic Four movie now,
I hope so.
which to me is ungodly exciting.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's true. John Campea tweeted it out and then kind of tried to say, this is my guess. It's not a report, which is the way he worded his tweet
Yeah.
seemed like a report. So he does this thing sometimes. He did leak the pictures from Spider-Man that showed Daredevil and then showed Matt Murdock and then showed three of the Spider-Men together before the movie came out, and he thought they were photoshopped. So he's been known to do things like this. So I would tend to believe it is probably true. And to me, that's really exciting. And that does add to the point that he might be starring in it as well as Reed Richards, which has been the most popular MCU fan
Yeah.
cast probably ever is to have him as Mr. Fantastic. So I just wanted to talk about those things because I think that's very exciting if it does end up panning out like that. Like again, Jon
Yeah.
Watts returning to Spider-Man and John Krasinski helming the Fantastic Four are not confirmed, but I would say they're probably pretty likely, which is very
Yeah.
exciting
It
to
is.
me. I think that's cool as hell. Like, why not? Why not?
And if that can lead to us getting like a really solid Fantastic Four movie, like I would really like to see that because
Yeah.
the 2000 was it the 2004 one that came out.
Yeah. Early 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah. That one I enjoyed, but
Yeah.
like a lot of them just weren't. I know the most recent one was disappointing for a lot of people, and I didn't even see
Dude,
it, and I was told not to see it. So if we can
don't.
get a good Fantastic Four movie, that'd be real cool.
The last one is such a crime because the cast is so fucking good.
Yeah, the cast is fantastic.
See what you did there.
That was that just happened.
The
Yeah,
the beginning of that movie is actually pretty fucking cool. Like the
yeah,
origin, and then the rest just happens. Like it literally just happens. None of it really makes sense. It kind of just all falls apart, and then it ends, and you're like, "It's over? What? I don't even know what happened." It's an interesting watch, but I think that was, from what I've heard, the director of that movie has come out and in full on interviews and podcasts saying that it was all studio involvement, and that's why it was such a mess. And they really only did the movie to keep the rights away from Marvel, which worked out really well for them because they fucking bought them. So it seemed like kind of like an unnecessary thing to try and keep rights to a thing that ended up getting sold years later, but it is what it is. What are you
yeah.
gonna do? What are you gonna do?